Good day, everyone. My name is Ronaldin Padigos. The artist that I choose in ancient time was Edvard Munch. Was born in December 12, 1863 and died January 23, 1944. Edvard Munch, a Norwegian painter and printmaker, and also one of the most iconic image of the world art. Edvard Munch was born in Norway in 1863 and was raised in Christiania, known as Oslo today. He was related to famous painters and artists in their own right. Jacob Munch, a painter, and also Peter Munch, a historian. Only a few years after he was born, Edvard Munch's mother died of tuberculosis in 1868, and he was raised by his father. Edvard's father suffered from mental illness, and this played a role in the way he and his sibling were raised. The father raised them with fierce and deep-seated issues, which is the part of the reason why the work of Edvard Munch took a deeper tone, and why the artist was known to have so many repressed emotions as he grew up. This is the example of the most popular works of Edvard Munch. By the deathbed in 1896, Death in Sick Room 1895, The Sick Child 1885, The Scream 1893, The Day After 1894 to 1895, The Kiss 1897, The Dance of Life 1899, Anxiety 1894, A Young Woman on the Beach 1896, Vampire 1893, Self-Portrait with Cigarette was published 1895. Many of Munch's works depict life and death scenes, love and terror, and the feeling of loneliness was often a feeling which viewers will note that his work partners focused on. This is the most popular artworks of Edvard Munch and their short description about this story. First, By the Deathbed, published in 1896, is about illness, madness, and death where the black angels that watch over my cradle and have since followed me. Death in the Sick Room in 1895 condenses the despair and anguish that Munch and his family experienced a result of the ravages of tuberculosis. Third, The Sick Child in 1885. The sick child, now the whole family is shown, and the empathy shift from the experience of dying girl to that of one more mourning relatives. The child sits facing diagonally to the rear, largely invisible both to us and to all the mourners, except his praying father. She is already absent from their lives. Fourth was The Scream, published in 1893. The sick child became from Munch, who nearly died from tuberculosis himself as a child, a means to record both his feelings of despair and guilt that he had been that one to survive and to confront his feelings of loss for his late sister. The Scream has become one of the most iconic images of the world art in the late 20th century. He played a great role in German Expressionism. The Day After, in 1894 to 1895, is more directly a replica, modified by his style of the 1890s, of the same subject painted in 1885 to 1886, also lost. The Kiss is represented of Munch's alliance regarding romance. It's virtually impossible to separate the two figures, particularly where their faces meet and become one in the painting. Next, The Dance of Life in 1899 appears to be more complex and personal versions of women in three stages, with an innocent woman in white of the left, a sensual woman dancing with a man, and English woman in black on the right. All three resemble Ulla Larsen. The girls dancing in the background may also represent her. The man in the foreground appeared to be Munch. A distinction can be drawn between those of Munch's imaginative works that are directly symbolic like jealousy and those like the present picture that are illustration of metaphor. And the last, anxiety. 1894. In Anxiety repeats closely many elements of the scream. The same jetty and accommodated a single alienated personage appears again, as do the lake in the distance, the two boats, the surge, and the other structures that line the shore just a little less dimly than before. There are quoted from the earlier works, as are the gloomy hues and the intense roars of constrictly enlarging lines and defined and ultimately embraced land, sea, and sky. Munch painted Anxiety that after experiencing a panic attack as a result of severe anxiety, and he certainly captured the feeling of disassociation and fear that comes with the panic attacks. The dark colors and the faces in the painting depict negative emotions, and some interpret expression to be reminiscent of heartbreak and sorrow. This artwork that I tackle about is the 8th of the most popular artwork of Edvard Munch. Next, we tackle about the bibliography of Edvard Munch. I'll forward to the artworks that appealed to me. The artworks of Edvard Munch appealed to me is the story about Scream. Scream was not simply a product of stress or an uncharacteristic moment of panic. It symbolizes the darkly troubled times Munch was experiencing as he dealt with mental illness and trauma, and his attempt to rationalize and explain his experience through what he knew best, painting. The Scream for me serves as a reminder that everyone feels scared or panicked or depressed sometimes. The theme of the artwork is testament to that. It is something to hold onto at times of personal pain. And the second is Anxiety. Anxiety is Munch painted it after experiencing a panic attack as a result of his severe anxiety, and he certainly captured the feeling of the disassociation and fear that comes with panic attacks. The dark colors and the faces in the painting depict negative emotions, and some interpret the expressions to the reminiscent of heartbreak and sorrow. Lastly is the 2 to 3 paragraph discussion why I like the artist, and the discussion will how his works in general appealed to me. That's all for today's discussion. Thank you.